Hello, Mrs. Bauman's class, and whoever else might be watching. This is Mr. Lukanen. Now, I was planning on coming into your class during the month of March and doing an art docent lesson, but then all this happened and I can't do that. Also, we can't do it over the internet because you guys won't have the supplies for the lesson, like the oil pastels or the watercolors or anything like that. And otherwise, it'd just be me talking about the paintings, and that's the boring part. But then I remembered that we had these little pieces of paper that I had you write down something you might like to see me show you how to draw if we had any extra time at the end of the lesson. Now, we haven't gone through very many of these because either I've forgotten, or we ran out of time, or we've been having so much fun doing the regular lesson that we didn't get to them. But now the time is available to us, so if you like, you can watch these videos and I'll go over one of these slips of paper and show you how to draw these things that you suggested. So for this next one, I think someone is actually trying to mess with me on this. They requested the Mona Lisa, and I think that's probably like asking a musician to play Freebird. It's probably one of the most famous paintings in the world, and we're going to do this as a direct draw. But hey, I'm not one to shy away from an honest challenge, so yeah, absolutely. Classical masterpiece, we're just going to draw it right here. It'll be great. So at the top of the page, let's start off with a nice big oval like this. Yeah, that seems about right. And let's come down a little bit with one line, one short line like this, and then a diagonal line about like that. We're just going to get the basics of the body in before we start drawing the face. And so I'm going to draw another line from the back of this is going to be the head, obviously. We're just going to make a line a little bit like this. And again, draw light, use pencil, and if you need to go a little slower, stop the video, go back. And we're going to erase and draw over things all the time, especially on this one. So on this, I'm going to make a diagonal line which curves up about like that. And then I'm going to have a line that comes straight down like this and straight over like that. So we've got our head, we've got our neck kind of, and we're starting in on some of the clothes. And now we're going to go back to the face. So let's draw on a little line right down the middle, and that's going to give us our eye line. And so not in the center because her head is turned off to this way. We're going to draw a long U. It's going to come down about to the middle of the face like this. So I'm going to start like 1/4 of the face over, and I'm just going to do a long U like this. And I'm going to do a little bump here and a little bump here. And oh boy, this is going to be interesting with this big marker, but we'll see how it goes. And then let's go on to the eyes. So I'm going to erase this eye line. We know where our eyes are going to go because she does not really have eyebrows. And if I leave that there, it's going to make some really dark eyebrows. So I'm going to do a circle, or a half circle, I should say, going from one side of the nose to one side of the head. And I'm going to do the same thing over here, except I'm going to give myself a little bit of space. So this is almost dead center in the head. I'm just going to have a little line like that, maybe just a little line like that. So we're going to do the eyes, and she's looking off to the side. So we're going to do the eyes. It's going to touch the top line. We're going to draw a circle. It's going to touch the top line and is over to the right. And the same thing over here. We're going to do a little eye all the way over to the right like that, and that's going to be her eyes. Now she's got a real what's up kind of look to her. So we're going to draw in these, it's a little curvy line. So I'm going to start off with a little curve, and it's going to go down like this. So she is fully, hey, what's this all about? And then we're going to do the same thing over here. It's going to be a line that swoops up and comes down almost like a triangle. So that's kind of the shadow of her eyebrow. Again, she doesn't really have much of an eyebrows, but we're going to do these lines to represent her brow, basically. And then we're going to do her mouth. So her mouth isn't all the way right in between the halfway point between her chin and the bottom of her nose. It's just a little bit up. And the mouth is kind of the most important thing on this because it's kind of the most famous part of this. And we're just going to do a little smile. And it's going to curve up a little bit on this side. Not a whole lot, because even in real life, when a person is smiling, it's not like it's not like this. A real life smile is actually much flatter. It's kind of more like this. That's like a real life smile. But anyway, so don't go too crazy. Don't make a big U shape, especially on her, because she's just got a little smile. And we're just going to draw a little line like there to show the shadow of the upper lip down there. And so that's actually not bad. Maybe we'll even draw a little line like that to kind of show the line of the cheek as her smile goes forward. Then she's got kind of a pointy chin. So I'm just going to draw a little triangle, a bit like that. And maybe that's a little bit too sharp. Maybe a bit like that. Kind of that way. And then we're going to draw a long, flat line just to kind of define her cheek on this side. And we're going to same thing with her jaw. So a long flat line like that, and a long flat line like that. And we're going to draw a little bit more of a flatter circle right there to define her lower jaw as well. Same thing with her forehead. We're just going to make that just a little bit more, less like an egg. So yeah, that's about how we're going to do. Then let's go up almost to the top, but not quite. And let's just draw a little line diagonally going like that. And that is going to be her hairline. So on this side, we're just going to go like that. And then we're going to come kind of out a little bit just right here. And we're going to make a big squiggly line coming down. Let's get that chin back. And we're just going to squiggle in a bunch of this kind of darkish hair. Okay. And then we're going to do the same thing over here. We're going to come straight out a little bit. Then we're going to come this way a little bit. And then we're going to come straight down a bit like this. We're going to make a diagonal line coming down here, all right? And then we're going to come straight down. And we're not going to be as squiggly as on the front, but we are going to color it in dark. Anyway, that's that coming along. Let's go back to the body. So let's go take this out a little bit and then come just more or less, we'll come out just a touch and then we'll go straight down like that. And then let's make another big loop over this. So kind of like an S, coming in from around right here and coming up about like that. Let's start up on our arm. So the arm, let's go and make one more line, a little curved line about like that. And then let's come straight down on both those points, like that and like that. And then we're going to make a diagonal line, but we're going to make it a curve. This is going to be her sleeve. And then a bunch of this robe kind of thing kind of comes in back. So we're just going to make kind of a backwards S. And let's just color that in now because it's all dark. And it's like the folds of her big robe kind of thing. Sure. So then let's make her arm. And her arm's going to taper a bit like this. So I'm going to come straight out like that. And I'm going to come out like this, but it's going to get narrower as it goes forward. And we're going to draw our hand. And hands, this is actually a pretty decent way of drawing a hand. So we're going to make a block, just kind of a rectangular block. It's a little bit wider on this end, but not a whole lot. And then we're going to make a diagonal line that comes down like this and down like that. And those are going to be her first fingers, but they're all together, so they can all be drawn kind of at the same time. So I've drawn a line diagonal out like that. I'm going to pinch it in over there, and I'm just going to connect it like that. And then we're going to draw 1, 2, 3 lines like that. And will be the first parts of her fingers. And then her little finger is going to come straight down like that. And then I'm going to draw another line straight down like that and in like that. And that's going to be the rest of her fingers. And I'm going to connect these lines also going down. And that's pretty much, I know it looks a little bit like a skeleton right now, but that's kind of the structure of hands. And when you want to draw hands, sometimes it's easier to draw the fingers as just big, flat rectangle shapes going forward. Now we're going to draw our other hand. Her other hand is actually draped over the first hand. So I'm going to draw a little diagonal line connecting this line to about the middle of the back of her hand there. And we're going to draw a widening rectangle about like that, diagonally across that section. Let's go and erase that. So then we're going to draw the fingers. We're going to draw the first one individually. So it's going to be going in like that. And then we're going to draw another line, so just diagonally out that direction. And then they're kind of wrapped around here, so we don't really need to draw all the fingers individually. But we'll just go 1, 2, there we go. That's 4 fingers. She should be happy with that. We're just going to do a little notch coming out this way, which is going to sweep out that way. That'll be her thumb. Then we're going to find her wrist again. We're going to come out this way, and this will be her forearm. So we're just going to come straight out like that, and we're going to curve it in towards this first finger knuckle like that, and that's going to be her forearm that way. And then we're just going to make a bunch of curved lines to simulate the folds in her clothing. So then she's got more folds because this is the really old times and she's wearing a big fancy dress. And so we're just gonna make a big bunch of circles coming out like that, kind of where all this stuff gathers. Let's make a couple clothing folds over here as well. And then let's finish off this arm. We're just gonna draw a little loop right there and have it come down like that. And then this is all dark in here. There we go. And you know, this is all pretty dark too, so let's just do some lines like that. Some lines like that. And then her knee kind of comes out this way, so let's make a little curve out like that. Just a line down here. And she's actually sitting on a chair, but about the only thing you can see of this is a little line that comes down below her elbow. So draw a line straight down like this and over to meet her hand, and we'll just make the back half of this dark. And here's like a little post, so just 2 lines down like this. And then this can all be really, really dark as well. And this is about our Mona Lisa. So let's just add a couple of things in the background, starting at about where the hair meets, or sorry, about the bottom of the jaw. Just make, you know, some big kind of mountainy kind of shapes. And there's some lumpy things right there. And then there's another mountain line kind of coming down at shoulder height, and it's got this curvy road, kind of distinctive. So make a backwards S, follow around with another backwards S, and then on the other side there's like these lakes and things. So let's just do a couple of lines kind of to simulate that. And the picture actually cuts off about like that, so we don't have to worry about all that over there. So we'll just erase that. And the background's pretty fuzzy, so we don't need to worry about getting this exactly right. I might go, and her face seems a little bit more narrow than this, so I might erase this eye right here and just make it just a little bit smaller and a little bit more in there. So I'm going to do the exact same thing I did before. I'm just bringing it in just a touch to make it look more like the original painting. And you know what? I'm reasonably happy with that. There you go. I'm sure you guys have created Mona Lisas that are as good as the original. I'm going to do some curvy lines coming down like this because this cloth here is all twisted up. And so just get a little bit of that texture like that. Anyway, so yeah. Here's a picture that you can have that would make Leonardo da Vinci proud. Fantastic. Thanks for sitting through that with me. She really does have this kind of, yeah, whatever kind of look to her. So, again, any comments, you can put those in the comment section. Thanks for watching. I will see you on the next one.